I love when someone says something that brings something new to the table. There's so much derivative bullshit and so much regurgitation that I really do like when someone brings a new thought to the table and then it opens up more thoughts. So Jim Carrey was talking to Gayle King about the slap that was heard across the world. And he said that sort of joke. I don't think he was joking, but he said that the next day he would have sued Will Smith for $200 million. And he said, you can't get up on stage and physically touch another person for words, you know? And what was interesting, and he said that's going to be out there forever. And I was thinking about the fact that I don't remember how old I was. It was years ago. I think his name is Jack Palance. He did push-ups on stage for the Academy Awards. And I remember Sally Field saying, you like me, you know, like, because she was saying that everybody liked her. And we all obviously remember Kanye taking the shine away from Taylor Swift's award. Or even times, I remember there was a time I think Steve Harvey announced the wrong winner for a Miss something pageant. And like, it's just disruptive. And that person that won or didn't win, it's awkward. And it's just not like a clean hit, you know? It's not like a hole in one. It's not. And Jim Carrey brought up that it takes so much. There's so many, the gauntlet that you have to go through to get to that stage, to be nominated, to get on that stage and win, and even just get into that room is so extraordinary. So think about what it takes for somebody, look about Halle Berry's speech about that she's opened a door, as the first African-American woman to win Best Actress. And if I get any of these stats or things wrong, you can correct me, but think about, these are moments. This is iconic. We remember as kids watching. So the indelible mark that Will Smith left on the Oscars with that slap, it's tattooed because it's so interesting. Like, I was thinking Chris Rock has kids. So he's always going to be the guy that gets slapped at the Oscars. And many people, you know, myself included, think he handled himself with dignity and grace in recovering from something like that. Literally bounced right back. But there are going to be people that are like, why don't you fucking punch him in the face, bro? You know, like, you're a pussy. Will Smith smacks you, you punch him back. Like, there have to be 1,000 different things, but Chris Rock has kids who forever will know that their father got slapped at the Oscars. Think about the people who won afterwards, this overshadowed any win afterwards. I know there wasn't that much time afterwards, and think about all the people in the room that night. This overshadowed anything happening that night. You could have won Best Director, Best Film, Best Actor, and you pale in comparison to an actor standing up on stage and slapping somebody in the face. It also brings up entitlement, right? I mean, who is more self-important than actors? Like, you know, getting up and wanting to like talk to everybody about their particular cause, or everything they say and think is so important. And you know, it is a self-important night in a self-important room, but there are a lot of people that really worked hard to get there. So I was just thinking, after Jim Carrey opened up a new door in my mind about this thing, I was thinking, yeah, this will be forever something that we'll remember. That was the Oscars where Chris Rock got slapped. I mean, that's the whole night. Boom. Is there anything else that happened that night? Oh, yeah, I heard one other thing happened. Amy Schumer reacted in a comedic way to Chris Rock getting slapped. So that's the Oscars. That's what happened. Chris Rock got slapped. You know? That's insane. And if you think about it, definitely it affected Taylor Swift in her life that she won an award and Kanye got up on stage and, you know, disrupted it and hijacked it and bum rushed it and just made it about him. So no matter what, there's no apology that can take away from the fact that even if what Chris Rock said was in poor taste, even if he knew, even if, you know, you don't walk into that room to be at a roast or the Comedy Cellar and, you know, get hazed, because some people are saying famous people set themselves up for public scrutiny. You know, she does have a condition, and he said something. And if you didn't know, because my question yesterday was, Did he just fire a random shot that he didn't realize had meaning? And a lot of people are saying they have a history he definitely did know, and that the joke maybe did or didn't land. Doesn't matter. The whole thing that you remember is getting up on stage and slapping someone. And it's literally what I tell my daughter not to do. Not that she would ever slap someone, but sometimes she'll make a joke. She'll go, oh my God, if that person did that, would you punch them in the face? I say, no, I absolutely would not punch them in the face. That's not. And I said, it's so easy for you to make yourself wrong. Someone can be wrong, meaning argument's sake. Let's pretend Chris Rock knew. He walked in the building, knew about the hair, the condition that Jada has, and decided he thought he was going to make a joke of it. Poor taste, tone deaf, he's wrong, let's pretend. And that's not even necessarily the case. It doesn't even matter because the other person in the schoolyard made themselves exponentially and infinitely astronomically more wrong. So I say to my daughter, there can be the way that you handle situations can make all the difference in the world. So many things happened on that ridiculous show I used to be on. Things that, were just normal circumstances or abnormal, ridiculous drama, but somebody does something that's so crazy that it kind of overshadows everything else. So I just thought that Jim Carrey talking about the fact that this will go down in history and not be forgotten, and you can't take that back, and you can't take back that the night was in many ways spoiled for many people who worked so hard to get there. I thought that was really interesting and just made me think as a parent what I would want my child to associate me with. And I certainly would not want my daughter at school to hear that I was the woman who got slapped on stage. So I just thought that was a really, I don't know. This is not about a gossip moment in an awards show, and that there are other ways to resolve conflict. So I think that that's what this is bringing up for so many people. It's just bringing up these aftershocks and currents that this reminds us all of. So today I brought in that I'm a parent and how I would want my child to see me when I'm up in some sort of position on a stage, and how I would want her to resolve conflict even in 6th grade, and the example that I want to set for her, and the bad example that event set for children and families watching the Oscars. So, and some people were saying that there are people on the side of Will Smith, and it literally doesn't matter. There's zero, it's black and white that you cannot get up and smack somebody no matter what they do or say. So that's what I have to say about that. If I were Jada, I also said the other day, that Will Smith should have been asked to leave the building. Just setting an example. The Academy set a bad example too, by the way. The Academy's example is we do not tolerate violence. Because they can't say, they did say in their statement, we don't condone violence. No shit, Sherlock. You don't condone violence. Obviously, you don't condone violence. We're the Academy condone violence. It's such a pussy answer, but they didn't say we don't tolerate violence. Because if that were the case, the minute somebody slaps somebody who's their presenter, security walks out in 2 suits, ironically looking like Men in Black. Men in Black comes out and escorts Will Smith out of the building. Okay? Period. Story and film at 11. But Jada it's not like my man defended me, went and slapped somebody on stage. In front of all of our peers. And we know how hard what it took to get here. Jada should have said, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? What are you actually doing? And that's the end of it. So Jada should have, if Jada could script the night, she would say, Will, when you go on stage, but she didn't know he was going to win, but maybe he got himself on stage somehow. So if somehow they could telepathically talk to each other and she could say to him, get on stage and just say, I just want to say, that was in poor taste. My wife has a condition that she's struggling with. So at the very least, this is bringing awareness to something that is very emotional. And I'm sure, Chris, passive aggressive, I'm sure, Chris, you didn't realize that, but words do hurt. And then that would have been the star of the night. That would have been a lesson that everybody would have known, that words do have consequences, and that saying something maybe that's unkind or that you don't understand might be hurtful. He could have made himself such a hero beyond, but he made himself the villain. I know we can't belittle people's lives and circumstances just because they're winning Oscars, but he seems to be and I can't even say he's in a decent position. How do I know? People probably win Oscars and are very unhappy. So I don't know what situation Will Smith is in, but you just come clean completely. You say, I mean, he did cry. I mean, I don't know. I mean, he did have a breakdown. He effed up pretty damn bad because Jim Carrey said it best. Once it's out there, you can't take it back. I mean, Will Smith checked the box and he apologized. He had to apologize. There's no other question about it. I would have been obsessed. I would have not been able to contain myself the whole night. I couldn't have gone out after and partied. I couldn't have celebrated my own Oscar. By the way, he ruined and tarnished his own Oscar. And he ruined and tarnished his own win for the team he won it with because he overshadowed the win with this garbage. I mean, he stained the Oscars. He stained his Oscar. He stained everybody else's Oscar. And he stained everybody else's night. And as far as I'm concerned, Jim Carrey is a genius for bringing up that point, that it leaves an indelible mark on this Oscars, and that there should be consequences, and that he did irreparable damage. I just think that's really, really interesting. So words and actions have consequences. There's no defending it, really. Will Smith stained the Williams family, too. He's representing them in this film, and he just stained everything. He just came in, he lifted his leg, and he pissed all over everything. So that's that. It's just that's that. And the whole thing is, if you can, teach your kids how to deal with things that are unpleasant and that really make you angry, that really frustrate us. That's not the way to handle yourself. So that's interesting.